Hello everyone! Let us take a moment to reflect on the remarkable football match we just witnessed between Indonesia and Bahrain. It was a display of sheer determination that has left us all with a deep sense of emotion. We must acknowledge that your opponent was a formidable one, holding a significantly high FIFA ranking. However, our Garuda squad demonstrated incredible fortitude, refusing to be intimidated from the very first minute. Their fighting spirit was unwavering. We saw a team that played with strategic courage, relentless pressing, and a brief creating hurt. The euphoria of your goal was a moment of national unity, a powerful surge of pride for every Indonesian. Well, the late equalizer from Bahrain resulted in a 2-2 draw. It is crucial to view this result through a lens of progress. This single point is a valuable and strategic achievement. It serves as powerful evidence that Indonesian football is rising. We are no longer passive competitors. We are a team that can compete on equal footing with established football nation on their own tour. This marks a pivotal moment in your football journey. Therefore, let us channel anything disappointment into unwavering support. This is not an end, but a promising beginning. Let this performance be the fuel that drives our team to even greater heights in the upcoming match. We are Garuda. Pride is imprinted on your heart. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay guys, I will explain the material with the theme of the question what. Next slide, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Afan Maulana, Management Study Program, and I'm from class 64.1, 37. And now, let's break down the first point. It says, question words are essential for communication. Why? Because they have three important jobs. Job 1, to gather specific information. Job 2, to clarify details. And job 3, to drive conversation forward. On this slide, we'll learn to differentiate between wo and wom. Wo is straightforward. We use it to ask about the person doing the action. For example, who called you? In contrast, whom is used when the person is the receiver of the action. Like in whom did you call? And notice the verb call here. You is the subject doing the calling and whom is the one who was called. Now let's look at a simple trick to master who and whom. Point 1. Use who when referring to the person doing the action or the subject. A great tip is if you can answer the question with he, she, or they, then who is correct. And point 2. Use whom when referring to the person receiving the action on the subject. If the answer will be him, her, or them, then whom is the right choice. Next slide. Let's talk about one of the most versatile question word. What? We use this word to ask about things, action, concept, or event. Basically, anything that is a person. Because it's so flexible, what helps us identification or specific detail about the world around us. It covers everything from simple questions like what is the capital of France or what color is your new car to more complex ones like what are you doing this weekend and what happened at the meeting yesterday. Essentially, this one word can be used for a very wide range of inquiries. And next slide, let's move on to a very practical question what or where. This word is a critical tool for understanding spatial relationship and finding location or object. We can use where in the main context. And first, to ask about a destination or goal, like where are you traveling? Second, to inquire about a current position or location. For example, where is the nearest post office? And three, to ask to seek information about origin or source, such as where did you get that interesting story? Next up is when, the word we specifically use to determine time and occasion. We use when to ask about several things. Point 1. Specific date, like when is the project deadline? And point 2. Time of day. For example, when does the movie start? And point 3. Duration periods, such as when did you first notice the change? And point 4. Future events. When will the next update be released? In essence, use whenever you need to establish the timing of an event. Understanding timing helps greatly with schedule, planning, and historical context. Next slide. The question why seeks the underlying reason or explanation behind an action or situation, prompting answers that begin with because. It is essential for moving beyond surface level description to meaningful analysis and problem solving. For instance, questions like why did you host that design? Or why are we implementing this new policy? Help uncover the motive and rationale behind the decision. Next slide, the question word how explores the method, manner, or condition of something. It asks about the process. How do I assemble this furniture? Quantity. How many people are attending? Or even quality of space. How was your vacation? Unlike other question word, how is highly flexible and can be combined with adjectives and adverbs like much, fair, or often to ask more specific and detailed questions. And now, let's look at which. Think of which as your go-to tool when the options are on the table literally or figuratively. You use if when you need to pinpoint one choice from a clear, limited set. The magic of which is that it makes the other person compare and pause. For example 1, which book should I read first? Example 2, which candidate will you vote for? And example 3, which route is faster? So remember, if the choices are specific and visible, use which to equate the conversation toward a decision. Next slide. Let's talk about what this question word has one main job. To ask about ownership or possession, think of it as the detective of the question word. It always asks, who does this belong to? You use was in a few key situations. Situation 1. To ask about physical possession, worst case artist. Situation 2. To inquire about a relationship whose brother is starting a company. Situation 3. To find out attribution or origin. Whose idea was this? Remember, was is always followed by a noun because it functions as a possessive adjective. Unlike who or won, it doesn't stand alone. It directly connects people to what they own or are associated with. And now, let's explore how to combine question words to create more precise and natural sounding question. This technique helps you gather specific information efficiently while reducing ambiguity in conversation. Here's how you can apply it. When plus where. Use this pair to ask about timing and location together. Example, when and where did you first meet? Who plus what. This combination clarifies both the person involved and the action taken. Example, who made the decision and what was the main reason? Why plus how. Perfect for understanding both the reason behind an action and the method used. Example, why did the project fail and how could it have been prevented? And by mastering this combination, you'll be able to ask more comprehensive questions that lead to clear, more detailed answers, making your conversations both efficient and effective. Next slide. Let's talk about using question words as a tool for story analysis. This method helps you break down any theme narrative in a structured way, making it easier to understand the deeper meaning and appreciate the author's craft. Think of it as a framework. We start with the basic building blocks. Who are the main characters? Where does the story take place? When does the action occur? Once we have the foundation, we use more analytical questions to dig deeper. Why do the characters act as they do? How do the events lead to the climax? What is the story main message? By applying this question systematically, we move from simple what happened to a much richer understanding of why it happened and what it meant. It turns reading into an active process of discovery. This slide explains a grammar structure called how plus adjective. You use this structure to ask a question about the degree, amount, or state of something. It's like you are asking for a measurement or a evaluation. The basic pattern is how plus adjective plus subject plus verb. For example, You can ask how difficult is the assessment to find out the level of difficulty. You can ask how long is the meeting to know its duration. And you can ask how expensive was the repair to learn about the cost. When you ask the kinds of question, you are requesting an assessment. The answers are usually short and often include an adjective, a number, or a brief explanation. And this slide introduces the question structure how plus adverb. You use this pattern to ask about the manner, method, or process of an action in simple terms. It asks the way something is done. The basic structure is how plus adverb plus subject plus verb. The slide gives two main uses. In one, to ask about speed or rate. For example, you can ask how quickly can you finish the report. This question focuses on the speed of the action. A typical answer would be a specific time frame, like I'll finish it in 2 hours. And two, to ask about manner or method. For example, you can ask how did they solve the issue. This question focuses on the method or process used. The answer will then explain the steps taken or the tools that were used to solve the problem. The next slide explains the difference between how much and how many. The key to causing the correct on is to know if the noun you are asking about is countable or uncountable. You use how much when you are asking about an uncountable noun. Uncountable nouns are for things you cannot count individually, like liquids, concepts, or materials. For example, how much water is left, or how much money did you spend. You use how many when you are asking about a countable noun. Countable nouns are for things you can count individually, like objects or people. For example, how many emails did you send? Or how many people attended? Guys, this slide is about indirect question. Indirect questions are a more polite and formal way to ask for information instead of asking a question directly. You hide it inside a statement or a longer sentence. The form often starts with polite introductory phrases like, "Could you tell me? I wonder, do you know?" For example, instead of the direct question, "Where is the station?" you can ask more politely, "Could you tell me where the station is?" Instead of "Will she join us?" you can say, "I wonder whether she will join us." There are two key tips to remember. 1. No inversion. After the introductory phrase, you do not switch the order of the subject and verb like in a normal question. And 2. Use statement word order. You keep the verb in the normal statement order, which is subject first, then the verb. So It's called You Tell Me Where the Station Is, not Where is the Station. This slide explains the difference between subject question and object question. The structure you use depends on whether you are asking about the person who does the action on the subject or the person or thing that receives the action on the object. Point 1. Subject question. This question asks who did it or what caused the action. They are asking about the door. The structure is simple because it follows normal statement word order. You do not need an auxiliary verb like do, did, does for simple tense. For example, who called it you? Here, who is the subject performing the action. The word order is the same as in a statement, subject or who plus verb or called plus object it's you. And point 2. Object question. This question asks who was it done to or what was affected. They are asking about the receiver of the action. The structure requires an auxiliary verb and use inversion, switching the order of the subject and auxiliary verb. For example, who did you call? Here, who is the object receiving the action? The structure is auxiliary did plus subject it's you plus base verb is all. Okay, next slide. Highlights some frequent errors people make when forming questions in English. Understanding and correcting this helps prevent them from becoming permanent, fossilized mistakes. Here are the common mistakes and their correction. 1. Error using the wrong auxiliary verb or omitting it. Incorrect. What you did. And version correct. What did you do? And explanation. In question about the object, you must use an auxiliary verb like do, does, or did, and the main verb goes in its best form. And 2. Error. Confusing how much and how many incorrect. How many weather? Correct. How much weather? Explanation. How many is used for countable nouns like bottles, cups, or emails, while how much is used for uncountable nouns like water, money, or time. And 3. Error using incorrect word order in indirect question. Incorrect. Can you tell me where is the station? Version correct. Can you tell me where the station is? And in explanation, after an introductory parser like can you tell me the following clause should not be in question form. It must use normal statement, word order, subject plus verb, not invention, verb plus subject. The last slide outlines a practice session for mastering the 5W1E framework: who, what, where, when, why, and how. The objective is to formulate and answer questions using the appropriate interrogative words to enhance fluency and accuracy. The core activity involves selecting a prompt, constructing a grammatically correct question, and providing a coherent response, which can be executed either orally or in writing. The application of each question word is as follows. 1. Employer to inquire about time. The expected response should specify a time or depth. And 2. Where. Used to ascertain location. A clear and specific place should be provided in the answer. And 3. Who. Appear to identify a person or group. The response should name the responsible individual or team. And 4. What. Utilize to query object, event, or action. Answer should describe the subject matters in question. And 5 and 6. Why and how. These are often paired for comprehensive understanding. Why. Solicits a causal explanation, while how requires a procedural account of the manner of method. This exercise serves to reinforce the correct usage of question words and the structure of interrogative sentence.